use a line tool, draw a line across, just to give us a guideline. You can offset about you can do Control D, Control Shift D, drag a copy as an offset from the main line that we just drew. Then we're going to type in about 50, enter. So we're going to draw our pattern for the thread within this space, within this line and this line here, and it's going to fall in between here. So let's just centralize. Let's take this to this point, take this, make sure it's on the stretch, and take it here so that I'll be able to get the midpoint. The midpoint is here. So all we're going to do is just draw half of it. Once you draw the pattern from it here, then mirror the other side. So we'll start by going to the design view, go to Morph tool, select this Morph tool, then we'll draw a shape like so, maybe something like this. Any shape at all comes to your mind, but there are basic things which I'll point out that you need to achieve so that you make sure you're drawing it correctly. You need to have horizontal grooves, then you can now have side grooves. Hold down Shift key, type, then you can do this, do that, maybe do something like so. Something like so. My Shift key is held down for the period of which I'm drawing this. I'm just drawing any shape, but following some principles, which is just to give it an irregular shape. However, I'm following a certain pattern. So I've succeeded in drawing the threads for the tire. So basically I've segmented these threads into one. Let's say this is one segment here. Sorry, I group that. The principle behind the segmentation is that I have this straight line here, I have this straight line here, I have straight line here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 segments. So I'll group this, select this one, I group it, Control G, select this ones here, I group it, Control G. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stagger patterns. So In doing that, let me just drag a copy of this, place it here, stretch it this point so that I'll be able to get the midpoint, and that's the midpoint, and draw a line to make it obvious that it's the midpoint. Hold down shift click, then I'll stagger this, I'll stagger one group to another group. I'll stagger these two groups. Okay, this one should belong to this group. I'll stagger this, so I'll shift it to the middle. That's what I need. So that done, and I'll go to the, I look for the pattern. Where did it go? It was drawn in the ground floor view. Well, we're going to go to the east elevation, look for the thread come out for you. It's a thread, so thread is in there. It was drawn in the ground floor view, so it's going to be somewhere. You can look for it this way, select it, come here, you see it's on the 0 level of the ground floor view. So go to this place and see it here. It's going to be somewhere here. So select all of them, then we'll assign. Remember, the diameter of the tire is about 900, so we just take it up to 1000. So we'll take this up to around, let's say 450. Since the tire is not exactly on, or we'll take it to about 500, so that it just comes out. You see what I mean? You can see the pattern here. The radius of the tire is about, from here to here, it's about 450. So by the time we take it to 500, this is the pattern here. Pattern. So we take it to the ground floor. We go to the ground floor, do Control D. So we want to take it exactly, this is the midpoint. We want to relate this point here to this point here. So we'll do Control D just once, hold down Shift, and click this point. So it's going to be exactly the middle of the tire there. So what we'll do, go to the generic perspective. So right now you can see that they are all just planes, they are not solid. This pattern that we just did now, they are not solid, and again they are not on the tire. So we'll select all of them, then we do move, we drag it down, so almost get into, so hold down Shift, drag it down, almost get into the surface. So the surface is about 101, so we'll just take it to like 95. So that's basically it. So it's almost there, or not there. You can further take it down to, this was 500 before, so we can take it to a total of 400. You can see it has gone down, almost touching the tire. It's almost like tire, but we want it to have a little, so we just take it a little higher above that. Let's take it to 403, enter. So it's just there. So we go to the, we can now delete the shapes, these guides and all of them. Get a tidy work environment there. So right now we're going to mirror this. We're mirroring along this axis so that we'll have other stuff there. So mirror a copy. So specify the axis, click here, click anywhere on that same axis. Anywhere, I mean, it can be anywhere along doesn't matter the length. So move to, but before we do that, I think that was the wrong move. Let's just give this some depth. So to do that, go to the 3D view, make sure we zoom, then we'll start, click on this. It's grouped, it's not giving us the right palette toolbox, so we have to ungroup by doing Ctrl+Shift+G, or select it and see, and now select it. Then we'll give it some depth by dragging this down. As it adds, drag down, if you drag that one down, we're not going to touch the tire. So the tire width actually starts from around here, so we're going to adjust this one to be within the tire. So we'll come here, select the shape, we do offset edge, so you can determine where it's going to end by when the cursor changes to the perpendicular side. So that gives us this. Having done that, adjusted these shapes to follow this line. You can go further to add more shapes if you like by borrowing this shape, because you borrow this shape right now, we're going to get better instead of us going around and doing the same thing. The same thing of adjusting the levels. We just take this Ctrl+D, sorry, that's Ctrl+D, hold down Shift, you click here, then you can create a node. What we're trying to do, we're trying to form a shape here. Take this node to this point, take this node to this point, make sure it's select until we get a straight line. And to get a straight line here, click that node and bring it to this point, click the same node, select this point, so we have a straight line here. So we'll go to the 3D view right now to give our pattern some thickness, make it solid, else we'll be able to work with it. So select this pattern. To make it solid, we just select the surface, then we just drag it down to touch the tire. You can see it's going through the tire. Let's undo and you do that again. So at what point does it touch the tire? It touches the tire at about 4, 5. So let's try 5 and see. For that depth, it's about 5. So we'll try I'll try the other ones too. So all we have to do, we don't have to guess. We just type in 5, enter, 5, enter. Do that for all the shapes. So far this is what we have. This is what we have right now. The threads, and see how large they are looking. Threads are looking quite large, but we need to regroup them. We had to ungroup them to give them this depth and solidity. So let's just go to the other views and see how they are. You can see this view, this part is not touching the tire, while this part is touching the tire. So we need to adjust. Go to the other view. This part is touching the tire, this part is touching, this part is not touching. So that means all the other parts that are on this side are not touching the tire. So we have to rotate it. So this this one right now is not, part of it is not touching tire, part of it, this one is not touching, so this pattern is not touching. So I have to regroup the tire, the thread, the shapes, the patterns. From here, select, to deselect this one, use the wheel, select all this, make sure it turns blue before you click. So that's it. So after that, you have to go to this view. Okay, we need to group them. Okay, after selecting, before we rotate, we perform a Boolean operation. So we just unite them together by doing the union thing. So right now they are now one instead of being grouped. So since they are one, you can select a surface and do the same thing to this one. Do the Boolean operation, click on an empty space, right click, do union. So you can see they are one now. So you can select these two and see if you can perform you can actually perform Boolean the rotate, to rotate here, the free rotate. So after selecting, we rotate on its own axis, not from the axis of the tire, the entire tire. So we're going to rotate it on its own axis, on the axis of the thread. So we do Control E. So we're going to pick plane. Always pick your plane so that you get a proper pick a plane. Then we'll specify the center points. Specify and take this, then rotate. So we can rotate, let's say, to about 4 degrees. You can see, so minus 4 degrees. Then you can drop it a little by about, make it 395. Enter. So it sits inside. So there's an intersection between the tire and the thread. So we have to also convert this one to a complete solid by doing union instead of grouping. Then you select this other one, also do the Boolean operation, union. I think that's okay for the patterns. So for this other one, you can drop it by about 3 to fit with the other one. So just if you drop it by 3, you get 395. Enter. So they all sit into the tire. So right now we're going to spread the tire. We're not going to, we're going to spread the thread. Well, before we spread the thread around the tire, we have to know the length of the thread of this pattern that we're going to do. Then we'll relate it to the circumference of the tire. And then before we do that, we'll go to the ground floor view. We're going to mirror a copy of the pattern, giving us this thread along this axis. So anywhere along the axis, just click. So you get a sample of the thread. So this is what is going to be repeated. So right now I want to know the length of the pattern. The actual length of the pattern is from here to here. Remember, not from this point to this point, but from here to here. So we can measure that. Go to the measure tool, M, or press M, click from here to here. It's about 50. So we relate 50 to the diameter of the tire. So we'll go to the proper view that will give us the diameter of the tire. Any view at all, but I think I would prefer to measure from the east or west view. However, let me just measure from here. I think it will still give me basically the same thing. So effectively it's 800 millimeters. So we'll go to the perspective view right now. So we're going to do the operation. We're going to select the threads and group them. Select the threads. You can just group them, Ctrl G is group. Then select the surface of one of the threads, just the surface, so that we get the option. So after grouping them, you will now select them. So then you click a surface, any surface at all, on any surface on the grouped element. So it gives us this palette tool. So we go to multiply and make sure it's selected on thread. But before we do that, we need to know by how much we're going to turn it around. So we can determine that by getting our calculator. Here, our calculator, the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. Pi means 22/7. So we have 22 times 2 times 400. R is radius of the circle. So the diameter of this circle is 800. So that means the R is 400. However, when you have the formula 2 pi r, that's 22/7 times 2 times 400. So it's the same thing as saying pi d, that is 22/7 times 800. So we're going to do 22 times 800/7. So this is circumference of our circle, that's 2414.29. 2414.29. So let's go back to our calculator. 24.7.29 divided by 50. That is the distance between, as the length of our, the width of our pattern, the effective width of our pattern. We get this. So we have to get 50 patterns around the tire. So that done, just minimize that. Then we go to Archi-CAD, select the surface, gives us this option, go to multiply, then go to increment. You type in increment or distribute, any of them that gives us. So but for increment, it's going to take us from 50 away. If we type 50, it's take us 50 away from what we have. That's if we start from this point, take us 50 away from what we have. So if we have about 2 millimeters, it takes us 2 millimeters. If we type 2 millimeters, it takes us 2 millimeters away from this point until we now get to to the final point. So have distribute, it just goes round and gives us 50 from this, let's say from this point, it gives us 50 exactly. So distribute -1 gives us, so I have finally go with this one. So we just go with 50, type 50 here. I might just try it out. Then go to the center point. Make sure you select you pick the plane. So this is the plane you want to work with. Pick it. Then go to the center point. You select the center point. Then come here. You can see. So it's spreading 50 along this axis. Carefully. Or we can just type minus. Carefully. We keep going around, you can just type -360 because that's what we want. So we do -360, enter. Then we'll make sure our elevation is 0, or else we won't get enter. We'll type elevation 0, enter. So that's all we get. So this is what we get at the end of the day. So the next thing we're going to do right now is to group all the threads together. You can see the threads that are in green are the new ones. Then I'm just going to include the old one to the selection. I'll do that by just putting a cursor on the old one, and this blue highlight shows that it's not yet selected, but it is like active. So I'll just press down shift and I click. So that includes it in the group. So it's calculating the polygons. Then I'll just press Ctrl G to group all of them together. So they are now all grouped together. So I'll assign a particular color to the thread so that it just stands out visually from the tire. So that's it. Okay, see, so this is what we have, a beautiful pattern on the tire. So we're going to color the tire now and the wheel. So I'll just select the tire, then I go to maybe just give it like a black, or no, a close to black color, and that's it. So that's the tire. Then the wheel, I'll give it a chrome color. So I just select the wheel. I need to save the project because Archi-CAD is just doing an auto save, which is not too safe for me right now because if it crashes, I don't have any file created for it. So I'll just select the chrome material for the wheel and click OK. But however, I can go to and select the smooth material to make it use a smooth texture. So that's it. Use it a smooth texture. Preparing this for 3D Max so that I'll be able to render it properly. So right now I want to assign a smooth texture to the thread. Get smooth texture and see how it will look. It's not coming out. So it's coming out. it's too smooth. So I'm going to undo that. So it's better left the way it was. So assign the smooth texture for the tire and see. So it works for the smooth, for the tire. The smooth works for the tire. So that's basically it. So we're going to prepare to take it to 3D Max for rendering right now. So to take it to 3D Max, we have to create 3 layers: a layer for the wheel, a layer for the tire, a layer for the tread. So, or you can perform a Boolean operation by joining these two, the tread and tire, together so that they become one. But for this lesson, I'm going to separate them. So I'll go ahead and save this file and name it tire. This is a previous one I did. I'll just name it tire 2 tutorial. So I'll have a file. So I've done that earlier on. So after doing that, I'll go to Documents, Layers, Layer Settings, select that, go to New. I do Morph tire.